It's Platt, and today we talk Oktoberfest. That's next to Platt's Beer of the Week. Well, we've made it to October. Somehow, some way, we've made it this far into the year, so I think we've deserved a beer, and the perfect type of beer for October is Oktoberfest beer. The particular one we're going to try today comes to us from Hofbrau. It's their Oktoberfest beer. Real quick, I want to give you the official name. Let me make sure I got this right. Statlichich Hofbrau House in München is the official name of the brewery. We are just going to refer the rest of the way through the videos just as Hofbrau House. That's how a lot of people know it in America. Little backstory to Hofbrau House. Hofbrau House, also referred to as the Royal Brewery, and it's located in Munich, Germany. The Hofbrau House is owned by the Bavarian government. It's what we would refer to here in the U.S. as a GSE, government-sponsored entity. So they have a little different mission statement, per se, than your generic for-profit, brewery. Little background on Hofbrau House. The term Hof itself means court, and that's in reference to Hofbrau House being the official brewery of the Kingdom of Bavaria. Now, Hofbrau House was founded by the Duke of Bavaria, Wilhelm V. That was back in 1589. Wilhelm V was a little different than some of the other kings or government officials that are involved in the brewery business. He was actually very active in the business, and so much so that Wilhelm V helped develop some of the original recipes for the brewery, so he's quite active. And that trait actually was handed down to his son, Wilhelm's son, Maximilian I. What a cool name, Maximilian, just sounds sophisticated. Anyway, Maximilian I started pushing the brewery away from, at the time they were brewing a lot of dark brown beers, and he started pushing them more to the classic wheat-style beers. And he helped develop some of the different Weissens, Hefeweizen, Dunkelweizen, those styles of beers. He eventually ended up banning other breweries from producing wheat beers, thus giving Hofbrau House the kind of monopoly on wheat beers for a while. Now, to me, one of the most fascinating stories when researching the history of Hofbrau House is the story in 1632. The King of Sweden had invaded Bavaria. It was running pretty much roughshod through Bavaria. He got to Munich and was threatening to sack and totally burn down Munich. But he decided to back off and make a peace arrangement with them. And the deal was free certain hostages and give us 600,000 barrels of Hofbrau beer. I think if you're going to ransack a town, the bird loves this story. I think a great settlement is 600,000 barrels of beer. Now, I would love to see how that got transported back then, but I thought that was a classic story. Now, where Hofbrau House really became an international brand and really took off was in the post-World War II era. At the time, a lot of American GIs were stationed in Munich, and they would go to events like Oktoberfest, go to the beer gardens, and one of the things they would take back home with them was these giant beer steins with HB on them, Hofbrau. And it became kind of a status symbol for a while, especially the returning GIs. But what it did is led interest in people back home. What is HB? What's Hofbrau House? Tell us about it. And it ended up driving a lot of tourism, not just to Germany, but specifically Hofbrau House. So much so that they realized, well, hey, we no longer have a regional brewery. We have an international brand. And that encouraged them to start opening some of these beer gardens outside of Germany and even outside of Europe. The first Hofbrau House outside of Europe was opened in 1968 in Melbourne, Australia. I believe that still operates today. Here in the U.S., there's several Hofbrau House located throughout the country, including one right here in Las Vegas. If you come here to one in Las Vegas and you're feeling a little bit saucy, we'll give you a little challenge. They have a young lady that walks the floor of the beer garden and sells shots of Jägermeister in a little test tube. The rub is, though, if you buy a shot of Jäger from her, she gets to pop you with the paddle. Now, let me tell you, kids, she brings the wood. I have seen this several times, and I'm a man of some size, and I've been, in school I was paddled plenty. But I would not let this young lady pop me. She brings it. But if you're feeling a little adventurous, the Bird, he's been popped 2 or 3 times. But if you're feeling a little adventurous, give that a try if you come out here to town. Well, enough about Hofbrau House. Let's check out the stats. So I thought today, since we're talking about Oktoberfest style beers, and over the next few weeks I'm going to review a couple more Oktoberfest style beers. It's something I'm going to do each October. I thought today we'd start off by talking about Oktoberfest in general, just giving a little update. As you could probably imagine, the big Oktoberfest that happens every year in Bavaria has been canceled. This is the first time it's been canceled since World War II. Absolute bummer. Thousands of people flock there. It's a really big boost to their economy, and it's just a fun time. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. One of these days I will go. But unfortunately, like I said, they are canceled. Here in the U.S., let's see, Breckenridge, Colorado normally has every year an Oktoberfest. This year there's no Oktoberfest. They're having Oktoberfest. I believe some of the local restaurants there are doing food and beverage pairings and doing like prefix menus, what have you. And you can have groups of up to 8 and go to the restaurant and celebrate. I guess Colorado's one of those states, similar to Nevada, that, well, we don't want you sitting at a bar and having a drink, but if you have cheese sticks with the beer, somehow you're safe from one error. Anyway, at least they're letting people out. Unfortunately, in Monterey Bay, that's near the Carmel region in Colorado, for you golf guys, Pebble Beach area. They have unfortunately canceled their Oktoberfest, and they said we'll basically see you in 2021. The only, a lot I've talked about in previous videos, a lot of the beer festivals have been closed, they've gone virtual or whatever. Unfortunately, probably the closest thing you're going to find is, and this is not a promotion for them, but I did see where Buffalo Wild Wings has some Oktoberfest promotions. I believe they're doing for $9.99 a 1-liter Stein of either Sam Adams Oktoberfest or Westfaner Weissbier. I believe they also have like some Bavarian pretzels or something like that they're doing, and I think they also have a promotion on Goose Island's Kolsch. So if you want to get out, drink some Oktoberfest beers, have some pretzels and whatever, that might be your best option, unfortunately. Well, enough talking about Oktoberfest. Let's try the beer. Sorry about the birds, kid. You know he loves being he loves being in the videos. All right, so we got a pretty nice thick head. This is a pretty light beer compared to a lot of Oktoberfest or Marzen style beer. This is definitely on the lighter end. Light malt nose, really no hops on this style of beer. Not much as far as on the nose. Let's give her a sip. All right, a little more malt on the palate, a little sweeter punch than what I got on the nose. On the slightly sweeter side, but I wouldn't say it's real sweet. Just a faint hint of hops, kind of at the end. Body wise, medium minus. I want to say to almost medium. Like I said, because of the sweetness a little bit, there's a little more viscosity to it. As far as finish, it's a short finish. I will say though, this is a nice sipper. Again, there's not a lot of hops to it. Just a little bit of malt. ABV wise, I think we're in the low sixes or whatever. So it is one you're probably not going to want to chug, even though I'm sure that gets done over there. But this is one that probably could sneak up on you after a few. Though it's very traditional German beers, they just do simple, well-executed styles. That's what I really like about the beers. Don't get me wrong, I am all for people pushing boundaries or whatever. I've said several times I really love some of the peanut butter stouts that are out there. But again, for me, these German beers are just simple, well-executed beers. And definitely a thumbs up. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you would like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on my Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.